People think you're boring for choosing quiet over noise, but psychology suggests your brain might be wired for something deeper. You're the kind of person who doesn't need constant stimulation to feel alive. In fact, too much of it does the opposite. You can enjoy being around people, but only in the right environment, the right energy, the right kind of conversation. And you've probably noticed this about yourself. Loud places don't excite you, they exhaust you. Small talk feels forced, and after a while, you just want to leave, even if nothing bad happened. So you start wondering, why am I like this? Why does everyone else seem to enjoy this, but I don't? Maybe you've even tried to change it, to be more outgoing, more social, more like everyone else, but it never quite feels natural. Here's the truth. You're not antisocial, you're not boring, and you're not the problem. You just experience the world differently. And once you understand how your mind actually works, everything starts to make sense. Because psychology has a name for this pattern, and it explains more than you think. Psychologists often describe this as a form of high sensitivity to stimulation. It simply means your brain processes more information more deeply than most people. Think of it like this. If the average brain is a normal microphone, yours is turned all the way up. You don't just hear conversations, you notice tone, pauses, subtle shifts in energy. You don't just see a place, you feel it. And over time, all of that input builds up. That's why crowded, noisy environments don't feel exciting. They feel overwhelming. But here's where it gets interesting. This way of experiencing the world isn't just psychological, it's also deeply cultural. In Japan, silence isn't awkward, it's meaningful. There's even a concept called ma, the beauty of space, the pause between things. And if that idea resonates with you, it's not a coincidence, because this mindset shows up in very specific patterns. The first pattern is called sensory filtering overload. Your brain processes everything around you in layers: sound, movement, emotion, atmosphere. That's why being in a crowded place can feel like you have too many tabs open in your mind. But here's the hidden advantage. You notice what others miss: the shift in someone's tone, the tension in a room, the meaning behind silence. It's not just sensitivity, it's awareness at a deeper level. The second pattern is a dopamine mismatch. Your brain simply doesn't reward shallow stimulation. Fast conversations, loud environments, constant interaction, they drain you instead of energizing you. But give you a deep conversation, a meaningful moment, or even just quiet space to think, and suddenly you feel alive again. Because your brain isn't wired for more, it's wired for depth. But there's another layer to this. The third pattern is emotional energy conservation. For you, social interaction isn't passive, it's active processing. You're reading people, interpreting emotions, adjusting your responses, and all of that takes energy. Which is why you don't just enjoy being alone, you need it. Not to escape the world, but to reset your mind. And the fourth pattern connects deeply to the Japanese mindset, a natural tendency toward harmony. In Japan, there's a value called wa, the idea of maintaining balance in avoiding unnecessary chaos. And if you think about it, that's exactly what you've been doing. You don't chase noise, you don't force energy. You move toward what feels calm, clear, and real. And without realizing it, you become someone who brings that calm to others.
But here's the strange part. The world doesn't reward peace. It rewards noise. The loudest voice gets attention. The busiest life looks successful. And after a while, you start to question yourself. Am I too quiet? Am I missing out? Am I living life the wrong way? So you try to adapt. You push yourself into louder spaces, more conversations, more stimulation. But instead of feeling better, you just feel more exhausted. And this is where most people misunderstand themselves. Because what you've been calling a weakness is actually your strength. What looks like quietness is depth of processing. You're not disengaged, you're observing. You're not distant, you're selective. You're not avoiding life, you're filtering it. While others chase noise, you choose clarity. While others fill every silence, you're comfortable inside it. And that changes everything. You think more carefully. You feel more intentionally. You connect more meaningfully. This isn't a limitation, it's a form of mental precision. You are never too quiet. You just live in a world that doesn't always understand stillness. And instead of forcing yourself to match that noise, you chose something else. You chose peace. Not because you couldn't handle chaos, but because you understood it. So no, you're not missing out on life. You're experiencing it differently, more slowly, more intentionally, and in many ways, more deeply. If this resonated with you, you're probably someone who values depth over distraction. And if that sounds like you, you're not alone here. This space is for people who think deeper, feel more, and choose peace in a noisy world. So tell me in the comments, do you feel more like yourself in silence or in noise? And if you do, stay here.